Welcome to the JAMODI podcast. We are all surrounded by amazing coaches and leaders. So let's get an inside look at not just what they do, but how they do what they do. After all, becoming the best versions of ourselves is JAMODI, just a matter of doing it. Coaches, the JAMODI podcast is powered by Shoot 360. The future of basketball has arrived in Dallas-Fort Worth. Shoot 360 combines the latest sports technology with the fundamentals of basketball skill development. The result is a one-of-a-kind video game-like basketball program designed to improve your shooting, dribbling, and passing. Visit shoot360dfw.com to learn more and register for your free 1-hour workout evaluation. Shoot 360, the future of basketball is here. What's one of the best things that you feel like you've borrowed lately?
The best thing I've borrowed lately, definitely from David Brooks' book, The Second Mountain. And the thing about Brooks that makes him brilliant is distinctions. And, in Jim Collins' book, Good to Great, he talks about good is the enemy of great. I cannot stand that quote. I think it is the most ridiculous quote I've ever heard, except for elites. Now, Vince Lombardi, all of a sudden, people are extrapolating quotes out of him that makes him seem like he's a Neanderthal, but yet he was a mathematician. He was a math teacher. This guy knew how to go from A to B to get you to C, okay? And so my point is that if you're starting your own program or you're starting with a young lady or a young man, young child on both sides of the aisle, it is imperative that good is your God. In other words, you just want to say, hey, when you're starting a bad program and you've had to do that, you don't want to give them at the end of the day, good is the enemy of great. Are you kidding me? So now let's take, for example, you finished a game and you don't know that a game needs to fall into these buckets. A good win is you prepared for the win and your preparation paid off and you beat a better team. A bad win is you prepared, you got ready, you're ready to roll, and an inferior team beat you because your team had a bad effort and they were disinterested. Okay, now we go to the other side of the aisle and now we're looking at the bucket. We got two buckets and it's a bad loss. We prepared, we were ready to go, and yet we got just absolutely gobsmacked in terms of we just got drilled. And, we didn't deserve to win and we got what we deserved, but we were lazy and let's say we didn't prepare. All right, there we go. That's a bad loss. No preparation and no effort. And now we have a good loss. And a good loss to somebody who's never read Vince Lombardi say, hey, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as second place. And the dad breaks the trophy, and you go, no, because you're breaking the spirit of the child. Second place is the doorway to first. Good is the doorway to great. And so we'll bypass in an elitist way and talk about, good is the enemy of great. And I've had that quote thrown at me at times, and I'm silent. But when I hear people use that and they don't know what they're saying, they're devastating their team because they haven't really reflected on, words are powerful and they can break spirit. You have to be careful with what you say in front of your players. And err on the side of silence, err on the side of I don't know, err on the side of, clarity. Hey, we're going to go from this inline to that inline. Here's the time. Okay, now you see a kid who's a spastic who is 3 seconds shy of that time. And now Macho Man is in there going, that was an awful effort. You suck. You'll never be anything. And it happens all the time. And yet I don't think you have to be Alibi Ike either. I just think you have to be very, very careful and say, hey, here's why that was good. And here's how to do better. All right, I'm going to help you with the first 3 steps. You took a negative step where the right foot went behind the left when I said ready, set, go. All right, I'm going to have you lean forward and I'm going to have that right foot step 6 inches. Just do it for me here. And then I show them the 5 laws of learning. Tell them, show them, have them show you, correct the demonstration, Lord and master repetition. Bang, 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 bang. And so I'm going to show them how to take that positive step, show me in slow motion. No, you just took a negative step. All right, now take that right foot, step forward. Oh man, that is awesome. Do it again, do it again. And we've never even run yet. Okay, now you were at 8 seconds at the other free throw line. Let's see if we can get you to 7.9. All right, now I want you to take that positive step. Here they go. They run across that 3/4 line down the floor and the free throw line extended. They clip it and it's 7-7. Make a big deal of that.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
But yet you've got your studs that are doing that in 4 seconds, 5 seconds, and so my point is you have to assimilate and you have to adapt and understand. It's not that you're going to make an excuse that, that's okay in that way. But what you're doing is that in the NFL in particular, your best players are your offensive and defensive line, and lose a stud and find out why they're people that you absolutely need. You need great role players for your superstars to shine. And my point is that kid that you destroyed, you're going to eventually need them. Maybe he or she's your 5th. Well, you better coach that 5th, because if that 5th doesn't know how to set a screen properly, or that 5th doesn't feel good about their role and what they're supposed to do, then you're not going to win a championship. And so my point is that too many times, back to your question, is I think that ignorance can destroy. And you have to be very, very careful about what you're doing and how you do it, what you say to your young athletes.
Yeah, a coaching buddy of mine says that self-awareness is a superpower. As a coach, really knowing where your team is at, your program, your players, and not setting expectations that and from the level that you're at, how many teams actually achieve great every year? Like, it's really hard to do. And you mentioned at the very beginning.
Here's the deal. When you say that, I'm going to interrupt.
Go ahead.
And I say, great is on the day. Great is on the day. All right. We do, A plus B equals C, and we may vie for a championship. We may not. But how many coaches are saying, okay, I'm going to give you a definition of great, and we'll go right back to that example. All right. And you say, ultimately, we have to hit that inline in this time as a group. We are a team. And I'll look at the 2 best runners and I'll say, what have you ever done with Sally? What have you ever done with Jane? What have you ever taken any time whatsoever to get them across the line at a better time? Not me, you. And all of a sudden they go, well, no, well, let's, and I include myself with the we, let's help her get across that line a little bit quicker. And let's have a collective responsibility towards our weak link, so to speak. And now you say, towards somebody that's going to help us win, and then you don't use weak link. In other words, you re-reference yourself. So the point you make about self-awareness and how to link in and get to great, too many times we are withholding great. And so there's no joy in the day or the 90-minute practice. And it's because the leader hasn't said, here are 4 things that I know we're going to do today. We're going to play cutthroat without the dribble and eyes to rim. And as soon as we get all 4 players, because we're going to play 4-on-4, that they square up, ball and triple threat, feet pointed to the rim after the jump stop, but the eyes are pointed to the rim, you get a point. And that is great. Now you've broken it down. They get a point. And now you say, hey, we're going to do that. And the winner, you do it 3 consecutive times, you win the game of cutthroat. All of a sudden, somebody doesn't do it. You blow the whistle, they run to the end of the line, defense goes to offense, and the other team runs on high hand closeouts, and here we go again. And now at the end, when you're reviewing the practice, in Cutthroat, we did this as a group, and your team won, and your team's going to win.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, now they're rejoicing in something. When they walk away, they have to shower, they do whatever they're going to do in a given day. They can reflect and they go, hey, coach said we did something great today. And also, as you take a pregnant pause and you say, how does that feel?
Yeah.
How does that feel in there? And so, I would say my saying is greatness is to be enjoyed on the day. But I think we have to do a better job of targeting it that
defining
that's
clear,
right.
Clear expectations of how we arrive at great. And I think that's really good.
Right.
When you were talking, I instantly thought about shot selection, because I think shot selection is one of those things, like the word great. We just use vague terms. Guys, we can't take bad shots right now. Only good shots right now. Hey, that's a great shot. Not that shot. That's a horrible shot.
Right.
What? I mean, especially in high school, you got 5 dudes like little Timmy sitting there thinking, well, my great shot is as soon as I cross half court. The clear definitions of what different shots are, so that we're all communicating on the same way, because that to me is where so much frustration comes from players. So.
I don't need to add to what you just said. Thank you. Really good. Really good.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the JAMODI podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.